What up, one goodie? Welcome back to your girl channel and to my kitchen. And today, honey, your girl is cooking you up some bang bang chicken and vegetable in my kitchen, fast, easy, and simple. And I am using chicken breast for the recipe, and this is a recipe that you have in fact requested. And here we go. Now I have my chicken breast right there that is skinless, and I did clean it and wash it with salt, lemon juice, and vinegar. Now what I'm doing here is cutting it into very small pieces of your choice. That is, if you like your chicken cut very small, go ahead and do so. Very big, go ahead and do so. But in this case, I could cut mine medium size, right? Now know that you could also use chicken thighs for the recipe, but I'm using chicken breast because that's what husband requested, and so that's what we are going to be using here. Now what I did though, before I cut it up, I did wipe off some of that excess liquid that I washed the chicken in. You want to go ahead and do that. That way when you get ready to bread the chicken, it sticks on really well. All right, so make sure you do that for sure. You don't need extra water. The only water that you're going to need is the other things that I'm going to put on there later on, but get rid of a lot of that moisture before you do anything else with the chicken. Now like I said, my chicken was already washed earlier with salt, lemon juice, and vinegar, so we don't need to do that, but we'll just move on to the next step. Now after we are all set and all done, we are moving on to the second course of this recipe, which is adding one large egg into a bowl. Now if you're using small egg, be sure to use two, okay? Medium size two, but I want extra large egg this. Now I did go in and added some almond milk to the mix, and you could use whatever milk that you have in your kitchen. Added some black pepper and some onion and garlic powder to the mix. I did not add any salt, but you can add salt to it if you'd like. I did though add some chicken seasoning and paprika to that mix right there. And like I said, goodie, you could always add salt, but since as the chicken season do have a little salt in it, I decided to skip the salt to the mix, but add it if you like, right? Now go in and give it a really good mix. Really good mix, and we're going to sit aside and make sure that, honey, your notifications are on fleek, boo, because you don't want to miss any of these recipe. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and share the love with friends and family, right? Bring them come, send them come. Now after you do all of that, go ahead and pour that good mixture on that chicken breast in my case, right? If a thighs, you use thighs in your case. Give that also a good mix, and I did allow this right here to sit for about 30 minutes because made it 30 minutes, girl, and that's all I needed was 30 minutes of marinating time, honey, and I was good to go. Now I did wrap it with my plastic wrap and just put it in one little corner in my kitchen for mellow out and chill out for that 30 minutes. Now after 30 minutes, it was all marinated. I moved on to step number 3, which was get my cornstarch. And honey, all the amount for the recipe that I'm using here will be listed down in the description box. Go ahead and check that out. I did add some seasoned breadcrumbs to the mix. If you don't have seasoned breadcrumbs, go ahead and use regular breadcrumbs. Here I did add some salt because we do want this thing to have flavor, and I did add black pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder into the sticker mix right here, so, and some paprika, right? And chicken seasoning because we are cooking chicken, so then I went in and give it a really good mix and a good stir right here. And I do hope you guys are understanding the accent because I am Jamaican and I speak Jamaican, and I do speak a little fast sometimes, but I try to make you guys understand. I do know that a lot of you guys are watching me from different parts of the world, and my accent is very strong. Yes, it is, and I'll be the first to admit that, but I am Jamaican and I can't change nothing about it. If I do change my accent, that means I'm in a fake, yes sir. Now honey, with that said and done, we are going to go in and add in the chicken pieces into that mix right here. And you want to go ahead and coat it really well, so that way to ensure that the mix is paste to the chicken really well, so that way when you dip it in the flour, it's going to just stick to that chicken and fry nice and crispy. So go ahead and give it a good mix right here. Now if you're still here watching me cooking this bang bang chicken and vegetable, go ahead and subscribe to my second channel, Life is Juliana. That link for that channel will be listed also in the description bar, so go ahead and check that out. Now moving right along, in a pan I added a whole bunch of oil. You want to make sure that the oil in fact is at 350 degrees, so that way you will have the most perfect bang bang chicken in your kitchen ever. Now when the oil is ready like Freddy, you go ahead and just put that chicken pieces into that oil, and it only takes about 8 to 9 minutes of frying time. So you don't want to overcook your chicken right here, especially if you cook chicken breast. You don't want it to dry and trashy. So that's all you need to make sure that the chicken inside is nice and soft and tender, and the outer layer is nice and crispy and ready like Freddy. So go ahead and do that, and you do not want to overcrowd your frying pan. You don't want to do that. I only added a few pieces to the oil and allowed it to fry until it was nice and golden brown, just like that. And I went ahead and all I did was remove that from the oil, put it on a paper towel and let it sit and dry nice. All right, nicely. And I did do 3 batches of the fried chicken, right? I fried 3 batches of this right here because like I said before, I did not want to overcrowd my pan, because when you overcrowd it, it does something that's not so good for the chicken. So the less pieces you add to the oil and let it fry and separate itself, it's the better your bang bang chicken are gonna come out. So go ahead and just add a small amount of chicken and let it fry generously, only for 8 to 9 minutes, and that's all you need. Okay, yes, I hope you get that right. All right, and once again, goodie, make sure them notifications are on, because that it is so important that your notifications is on, so that way you won't miss an upload. Because when you tell me you want me to do certain recipes and the recipes all already there, that's because you miss it, because you never check your notification, and I can't give everybody a link. It would go, I would be crazy trying to give links to everybody that asks me for a specific recipe when the recipe was already uploaded weeks or days ago, and you missed it because you did not check your notification. So go ahead and check it right now, goodie, right now. Now I think I'm all done frying up these 3 batches of chicken breast pieces in my kitchen, and they are perfect, and they are the way that I want it to be, nice and tender. All right, nice and tender like masculine gender. That is how it looks. You can see where the breadcrumbs is just sucked all up in that chicken breast. Perfection. All right, now this I'm using is frozen vegetables. Now if you are going to use frozen vegetables for this recipe, you want to make sure that you pop it in your microwave and allow that liquid to get out. Just drain that liquid, that excess liquid, after it is nice and warm for about 3 minutes in your microwave. Okay, do not boil not boil it, just go ahead and pop it in your microwave and just let it drain out, and then it will be ready for the next and final step. Now in my pot right here, we are going to add about 4 to 5 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and if you don't have the unsalted butter, use salted butter, right? It's gonna work just fine. Now and only now you go in and add some garlic, and I did use my crushed garlic for the recipe. After everything comes to a melt, just like so, I did go in and added the sweet chili sauce to the mix, and mine is finished because I cook with it so much, so it's all done. So I just went ahead and throw it all up in there, but I am going to let you guys know what and how much I use for the recipe. Now I did add my sriracha sauce to it, and as you can see, I'm just squirting it all up in there. I didn't measure anything, but I am going to give you measurements down in the description box. Now I went in with some mayo. If you don't have mayo, use whip. Whip is good for the recipe as well. And also, again, as you can see here, girl, now measure nothing, just pour it all up in there and give it a good mix and a good combination. I eyeball everything right there, so and it's always work, okay? Always work. But your measurement go down, so don't panic. Not panic, good it. Your measurements will be down below. Homegirl never cook without her vinegar, so I did add about a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar to it. And honey, sweet orange marmalade, it was turned to the next level, honey. My bang bang chicken right there, so was turned when I decided to put my orange marmalade to it. It was so good. That little orange lemony flavor, honey, it was so good. So go ahead and make sure you have your orange marmalade. And I did add about a tablespoon of brown cane sugar to the mix. Do not add white sugar or white granulated sugar. Now after your vegetables is nice and warm, okay, not hot, just warm, and you drain off that water, because I am using frozen, and again you could use fresh, but make sure that it's cooked. Don't add extra amount of water to it, okay? Just do what I'm doing here. Give it a good mix after you put it in there. It's going to absorb that bang bang sauce into your vegetables, and the vegetables are going to taste so so good, oh so good. Then I went in and added the chicken breast, those crispy chicken breast nuggets. You could just eat it up just like that with some sweet and sour sauce. You don't even have to add it into that bang bang thing. You could just eat that chicken just like that with some sweet and sour sauce, honey mustard sauce, whatever you like. Even make a sandwich out of that, honey. That's how good. Better than Chick-fil-A, okay? It was so good. Now right here is where my fire was turned off, because once you put it, that veggie and that chicken into that sauce, you want to go ahead and turn the fire down, because you do not want to have this thing cooking, because you will in fact sag up this thing. So once you put everything in, this is where you stop with the fire. You just shut it all off. If you have to take it off the heat, you do that. But once you put your little sesame seed and your scallion and all them something upon it, you shut it off. As you can see, it is off. Perfect, just like how it's supposed to be. Do not overcook that chicken, because you want to have that crisp to it. I did add some french fries to it, because I did make this on a Friday. Friday is where we just sit back and mellow out and just have whatever comes to mind in the house. So this is a Friday meal. And when I was done, honey, and I served it up on a plate, that is what it looks like. It was so good. It was so delicious. It had so much flavor. That bang bang chicken and vegetable was everything, boo. And I'm not playing. You have to give this recipe a try. You're going to love it as much as everybody else would love it. Go ahead and try it, boo. You will not be what? Disappointed. And when you don't do that, share it with a friend, share it with a family, share it with a neighbor, and tell them what's going on up over here. Bring them, come and send them, come. I'm waiting. And after you get done doing that, tell me what you like to have me cooking next in my kitchen. And remember, as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen, enjoy!